I'm really excited to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Richard Anderson from Lighthouse. I've known Richard for about, I think, 15 years now, and Richard is an esteemed colleague. He's a venue executive with a lengthy career in leading operations in stadiums, ballparks, arenas. He's one of the most educated and knowledgeable and motivating people that I've ever had the honor to work with. With that, it is my extreme honor to introduce you to our keynote speaker tonight, Mr. Richard Anderson.
There was a few people in the office, and we organized 20 or so people, and each of us got 40 names, and we spent the next couple of hours calling saying, hey, Richard Anderson with the Padres, just checking in, George, everything okay? I know the fires are crazy. You know, we got most people. Some people we left messages, some people, you know, we didn't get because nobody answered. And then we moved on. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, and the single most impacting experience to the service culture at Petco Park, known in the States as one of the finest customer service organizations anywhere, was that moment. The staff knew we cared about them. Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss to most of us, says, people do not care how much you know till they know how much you care.
Because you're all smart, you're all talented, you all bring a lot to the table, you all make a difference, you all really matter to the guest experience and to all the other people in your lives. But there are a lot of ways to get downtown. My way is not the only way. And when all of us work together, look how much better we can do. So again, the most important customer you'll ever have is your teammate. So my mustache was swinging back and forth like this in front of my mouth while we were eating. So the story gets a little bit more hilarious, at least from my perspective, because the makeup specialist and the production director and the director all grabbed me, and they didn't know where to go, so they took me off back into the men's, they call them washrooms up there. And so we're standing there over by the sink in front of the mirrors, and the production guys got me back, and the makeup guys got me like this, and he's putting glue on my face. And the director's standing there saying, you know, we got to hurry up and get back. And about that time, the door opens, and two gentlemen come walking in, and they stop, and they see this craziness going on at the sink, and they go, oh, excuse us. And they walk back out, and I'm going, no, it's all good. There's nothing crazy going on here at all. I want to talk about what I mean by trust. I'm not talking about predictive trust. Now, none of you know me. Paul knows me pretty well. And if I told Paul I'm going to be somewhere, well, I was supposed to be here today at 3 o'clock. Paul, what time did I get here? I was here at 2:58. So that's predictive trust. That's when somebody tells you they're going to do something and you know you can count on it. I'm not talking about that kind of trust. I'm talking about vulnerability trust. I'm talking about I really trust you. You got my back. And why does it matter when we're talking to a large group of incredibly important event staff? Why does vulnerability trust matter? Because we're in the customer service business. And if you don't hear anything else I say tonight, hear this. You will never treat an outside customer, you will never treat a guest that comes into this building better than you treat each other. The most important guest in this entire venue is sitting on your left and your right tonight. You are the most important guest here. Give yourself a hand for that. It's a fact. So in closing, I want to share a very short story that had a huge impact on me, and I hope it does on you as well. A great friend of mine when I was in Edmonton, and still a good friend, is a woman by the name of Katrin Owens. She's a senior executive at a large PR firm, single mom, has a son, Ben, who got accepted, loved performing arts, and while I was there, got accepted to the Randolph Academy for Performing Arts in Toronto. Almost impossible to get into this school. Kid's talented. He gets the break, he gets in. It's Katrin's only son, and she's a single mom, and so some of you can relate to this. It's the first time he's gone away from home. He's been gone now about 2.5 months. She gets the email and the occasional communication, how great it's going, but obviously It's gone from being every day and knowing what's going on in his life to not. So she couldn't wait to get there. She goes to spend a weekend. She gets in a little early. It's lunchtime on a Friday. The students are all still in class. Katrin goes downstairs into where the dining hall is. It's not a very big space, maybe 50, 75 seats. And there's a window about 3 feet high, 30 feet long that's open where she can see back into the kitchen. And she sees this immaculately dressed chef, hat, the whole deal, carefully putting items on each salad. And she watched him and she said, I became mesmerized with this. She said, I finally went over to him and I said, she said, I couldn't resist. I said, you must really love this job. She said there was a bit of a pause, and then he turned up and he looked at her and he said, no, ma'am, I really love these kids. That's what you do. You're a difference maker because you got in this because you love these kids. Your leadership matters, and I encourage you to keep at it. Thank you. I'm Richard Anderson, and I look forward to speaking at your next event.